Thank you for following us. And today there is another kind of question that always comes to us: the 3 days and the 3 nights. This is about Jonah and Jesus Christ. Jonah in the womb of a fish, and then Jesus in the heart of the earth, that's in the grave. So we see that the passage in Matthew chapter 12 verse 39 to 40 often raises questions about the 3 days and the 3 nights Jesus mentioned in relation to his death and resurrection. Many ask, how do we reconcile Jesus' words with the traditional view that he died Friday and rose Sunday morning? Let's try to break it out, or let's try to break it biblically and in context with some references. Now, when we come to understanding the Jewish idiom, we see that in Jewish thought, any part of a day could be considered as a whole day and night. In Jewish, for them, if you do anything on that day, they count it as a whole. If you do anything on that night, they count it as what? As a whole. So, in Esther chapter 4 verse 16 through Esther chapter 5 verse 1, Esther says she and others will fast for 3 days, night and day. But she goes to the king on the 3rd day, not after 72 hours. And also we see that in 1 Samuel chapter 30 verse 12 through 13, the Egyptian servant says he had not eaten or drunk for 3 days and 3 nights, but he was found on the 3rd day again, not necessarily a full 72 hours. Now, in conclusion, we see that in Hebrew, reckoning 3 days and 3 nights could refer to part of Friday, all of Saturday, and part of Sunday. So, part of Friday, because Jesus died at around 3, was buried before the Sabbath came in, like at around, let me say, at 6. And then we see the women going back to the Sabbath worship as the command was, and also we see him rising up in the morning when we see Mary Magdalene going there and she didn't find him. So we see the whole Sabbath, the whole Saturday, Jesus was in the grave. And then on Sunday morning, Jesus resurrected. Mark chapter 15 verse 42 through 43. Luke 23 verse 54. This is Jesus' crucifixion. Jesus died on the preparation day, the day before the Sabbath. That's Friday. And then the burial, we see that Jesus was placed in the tomb before sunset. That's Friday. That's before the Sabbath began at sundown. Luke chapter 23 verse 50 through 56. And then we go to resurrection, where we see in Mark chapter 16 verse 1 through 6 and Matthew chapter 28 verse 1 through 6. Jesus rose early on the first day of the week, which is what? Which is Sunday morning. So, by Jewish inclusive reckoning, Friday marks day 1, Saturday marks day 2, and Sunday marks day 3. So, even though these are not three full 24-hour days, this fits the Jewish understanding of 3 days and 3 nights. So that's the way you can understand it in the Jewish understanding. And then we see also Jesus' own repeated statements. Jesus often said he rise on the 3rd day, not after 3 full days. We see that in Matthew chapter 16 verse 21, be killed and be raised again the 3rd day. And Luke chapter 24 verse 7, the Bible says crucified and the 3rd day rise again. That's Jesus himself. 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 4, he rose again the 3rd day according to the scriptures. So we see that all of these point to the resurrection on Sunday, not Monday. So there is no anything there to confuse us. We see that Jesus himself spoke about that. So why say 3 days and 3 nights? Jesus was using a prophetic expression based on the sign of Jonah. For as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the whale, Matthew chapter 12 verse 40, referencing Jonah chapter 1 verse 17. So we see that this is typological language, a figure or sign, not a scientific breakdown of hours. It is meant to point to a complete but limited time in death, not a literal 22-hour clock. Hope we are together. Now, so what's the summary? We see that when Jesus said he would be in the grave 3 days and 3 nights, he was using a common Jewish idiom. In Jewish culture, any part of a day counted as a whole day. So, from Friday before sunset through Saturday to early Sunday morning counts as 3 days by Jewish reckoning. The same way Jonah was in the belly of the fish 3 days and nights, but not necessarily 72 hours. Jesus fulfilled this prophetic sign exactly as foretold. So it is a Jewish language that here we deal with. They were 3 days. Jesus died on Friday, buried on Friday evening before the Sabbath, rested the whole day of the Sabbath, resurrected on Sunday morning. And those are the 3 days and the 3 nights. Let's not this confuse you again. Thank you for following us and give us a like. Please send questions if they are there so that we can be able to interpret and also work together. Pay us a visit if you want any singing, preaching, just contact us at Voices of the Last Call or email us thelastcallvoices@gmail.com. See you.